Hello and welcome to BBC News. Good to have you with us. This is BBC News. Very good to have your company. I'm Rich Preston with the latest headlines for viewers in the UK and around the world. First, a growing number of countries are imposing travel bans on Britain, where a new fast-spreading variant of coronavirus has been detected. Flights have been cancelled by a number of countries, while Eurotunnel and ferry crossings from British ports to France are also being suspended. Well, let's get the very latest on this now. Daniel Lippman, the White House reporter for Politico, is joining us from Washington, D.C. Daniel, thanks for making the time for us. President Trump, in the last couple of hours, has tweeted good news on COVID relief bill, information to follow, and a Trump administration official has indicated that he may now sign this bill. What do we know?
We know that in the last 15 minutes or so.
Let's bring you some breaking news now. Rio Tinto's chief executive, Jean-Sébastien Jacques, is to leave the firm after a scandal in Australia. In May, the world's biggest iron ore miner destroyed sacred Aboriginal sites in Pilbara, Western Australia. They were among the oldest historic sites in Australia. Let's get more from our correspondent in Sydney, Shaima Khalil, who joins us now. Shaima, what's the backstory here?
There's more stories coming.
And what about the claims in the article about business interests, in particular in the Philippines, India and Turkey?
So Donald made a lot of money.
Treacherous winter weather has killed at least 10 climbers in the mountains outside the Iranian capital, Tehran. At least 7 others are missing in the Alborz range after an avalanche and blizzards. A search operation mounted by the Red Crescent rescued 14 people but has been halted until the morning. Now, give us 90 more seconds of your time for this next story. I promise you won't be disappointed. A professional paraplegic climber has become the first person in Hong Kong to climb more than 250 metres of a skyscraper while strapped to a wheelchair. Lei Chi Wei scaled the height using a piece of rope and sheer grit and determination, as Freya Cole explains. And Tanya, the more astute of our viewers will have noticed your accent. How has this affected you personally?
It's been a really interesting situation for me.
Stay with us here on BBC News. Still to come.
In central China, a man has died following an outbreak of an unknown pneumonia-like virus, which officials say comes from the same family as the deadly SARS virus. Health authorities say that only 40 other people are infected. Rich Preston reports.
Officials say the 61-year-old man shopped regularly at this seafood market and that it was the source of the virus. In 2003, Chinese officials were accused of trying to cover up a SARS outbreak, which spread rapidly, killing more than 770 people. At least in this instance, authorities say they've acted early and that the virus is contained. The government, up until this point, has encouraged people to stay at home. It's advised them to kind of minimise their contact with other people. But it's got to the point now where they're saying enough is enough. We're now going to have to mandate this and give the police powers to break crowds up.
What are we learning?
Well, as you say, very little verified information. Those early reports came from Iraqi state media saying there had been a fresh airstrike by the US on this convoy on the Taji Road, which is north of the Iraqi capital, Baghdad.
Rich, listening to that, it's clear there's a lot of division right now within the United Kingdom.
Division and concern about more confusion as well. This message from Boris Johnson on Sunday night was broadcast across the UK, but really it was just a message for England. As we heard in Ian's report there, the message in Northern Ireland, Wales and Scotland is still very much stay at home. Julian Assange's lawyers say that during the hearing, they'll present a witness who'll testify that while Mr. Assange was staying at the Ecuadorian embassy, he had a visit from a former US congressman, this man, Dana Rohrabacher, and that he came with a message. Prove that Russia wasn't behind the DNC email leak and you'll be pardoned. The tension is rising between Turkey and Russia, but this is where it's being felt, 600 kilometres away from Ankara and 3,000 kilometres away from Moscow. Rich Preston, BBC News. The palace seemed fairly relaxed. They said this is a precautionary measure and that the Duke came in of his own accord under the advice of his doctor. He's here at the King Edward VII Hospital, as you say, just a small hospital in central London, 56 beds. It's been treating the royal family for several years.
Nature, at least, has been getting a much-needed break.
And a much-needed silver lining for us all, I think. Much more on our website and the BBC News app as well. You can reach me on Twitter. I'm at Rich Preston. Would love to hear from you. Thanks for joining us.